I welcome you for the session, and this is a new topic, and this will be a new module. We will be looking into the for beams and trusses and how the moving loads are calculated. What are the maximum positive and negative shear force, maximum and absolute maximum bending moment due to moving loads. All these things will be dealt for determinate beams. When considering a determinate beam, the moving load is applied. What are the internal behavior of this beam due to the moving load, which we are going to analyze here, and we will be identifying the shear force, that is maximum positive shear and maximum negative shear. It may be at a particular point or the other case, that is absolute maximum. There are two cases, maximum and absolute maximum, and in both in shear force, also in case of bending moment, you have this two components. So let us find how these things vary and how to find these values. And also bending moments are also taken into two types, that is maximum bending moment and absolute maximum bending moment. So what is the difference between this? So let us discuss all these things in this lecture. Okay, and for understanding this concept, now we are moving into module 2. This module 2 consists of two type of structure. One is a determinate beam and a determinate truss problem. You can see here the module 2 consists of these two type of structures, and we will be identifying reaction, shear force and bending moment, and in a particular we will be finding maximum values and absolute maximum values for beams due to multiple loads. In practice, we can see a car which is moving in a bridge. Okay, car has four wheels. So what are the wheels we can consider and how many point loads will be there? If you want to consider that, you have to assume each and every wheel has a point load. So a car has 4 point loads. A two-wheeler has 2 point loads, that is front wheel and a back wheel. For a car you have 4 point loads, and how many wheels you are having, that much of point loads will be acting. So these are the cases for point loads. So let us come to this. In this problem, let us understand this concept by using this problem. Okay, now a uniformly distributed load of 15 kilonewton per meter. This is the uniform distributed load, and which is 15 kilonewton per meter. These are the case of a tanker, a military tank. Military tank has a wheel load which is uniformly distributed. The tank is supported in a chain of wheels. So in those cases you can assume, and IRC class AA loading is being taken for a military tank. So that is why it is the highest case of load. Let us assume this in our problem, and the load is less here when comparing to a military tank. So even though for an assumption, it is good to understand. Okay, covering a length of 3 meter crosses a girder of span 10 meter. What do you mean by girder? Girder is a beam. In a bridge, beam is known as a girder. Now we have a beam here, and this beam is a determinate beam. How we say that it is determinate? Here you can see a hinged support, and at the other side you have a roller support. So the number of reaction is 1 here and number of reaction is 2 here. The total number of reaction is 3, hence capital R minus 3 equal to 0 here. Capital R is number of reaction, that is 3, minus number of equilibrium equation is 3, so 3 minus 3 will be 0 here. That is why this beam is called a determinate beam. Okay, in this determinate beam, what happens? 15 kilonewton per meter UDL is crossing from one end. It starts from A and it moves across the span of the beam and it reaches the point B. Okay, find the maximum shear force and bending moment at section 4 meter from the left hand support, that is LH, left hand support. Okay, what is our point of interest is, so from the left hand side we will be taking a 4-meter distance, and at this 4-meter distance we will be taking the point as X. So what is the maximum shear force and bending moment at the point of X? So we are not bothered about what is the absolute maximum bending moment. At a particular section, this beam has a total length of 10 meter. So whatever might be its distance, we are only interested in 4-meter distance. At this point of beam, what is the maximum positive and negative shear force and also maximum bending moment? Okay. When this load crosses, see, if this load is acting at a point A, say for example, the half of the UDL is left side and half of the UDL is right side. So half the load will be acting in this girder, the remaining part will not be acting into the girder. In this case, the beam will not be taking any maximum bending moment. It will have some moment, but it will be not maximum. Okay. At the point of X, if we are interested, and if the UDL is moving into the span of the girder, definitely the reactions will be changing. At the point of A, the reaction will be highest. Why? Because the reaction A is handling all the loads. The reaction B will be very less. When the UDL crosses the span, slowly what happens, the reaction at A will be reducing and reaction at B will be increasing at the half of the point. After the midpoint, what happens, the support reaction at B will be taking more load and A will be taking less load. So for the moving load, you have a variation of reaction. So you have maximum RA here and reaction A will be 0 at the point of B. Similarly, the reaction B will be maximum here if the load is here, and the reaction B will be 0 at the point A. So these are the variations which we have clearly understood in an influence line. Now we are going to apply those concepts, and also the bending moment and shear force. If the load is at this point, the maximum positive and negative shear we can identify, and what happens if this load move towards the span, and what will be the maximum shear force in this girder. Due to the movement of this load, what happens, the shear force and bending moment changes. That is why a term absolute maximum bending moment is being taken. Maximum bending moment and absolute maximum bending moment is different. If you are taking a point, if you find the bending moment at point X, it may not be maximum, and if a load reaches a certain position, that is in the case of D, you can see if the load reaches the point X and with a particular distance, that is 1.2 and 1.8, how it is arrived, let us discuss. If it reaches at a particular distance, then the maximum bending moment at X happens. If you want to find the maximum shear force, if you require, place the UDL at left hand side. Either it may be UDL or a point load. Place the load which is at the left hand side, so that you will be getting negative shear force, and if you place the load at right hand side of the portion you have considered, you will be getting the positive shear force. And this is the case. Where you place the load is very much important here. The span is constant. The values are changed according to the requirement. So if you need to find shear force, that is positive shear force, negative shear force, and for that you have to place the load at different location to find the different analytical parameter. So let us find the maximum negative shear force. Okay, to find the maximum negative shear force, what you have to do is, see, the load is placed at left hand side of the considered section X. So the X is at 4 meter from left hand side To find maximum negative shear force, what you have to do is place the load at left hand side. So the total distance of UDL is 3 meter and our considered distance is 4 meter. First you have to find reaction. So whatever might be the analytical parameter, first you have to find the reaction, that is RA and RB. To find that, you have placed the load at a particular location, take the reaction. And how to find reaction? Sum of moment equal to 0. I am taking moment at point A. RB into distance will be 10 meter, which is anti-clockwise. And you have a UDL here. And for this UDL, the formula is load into distance by 2. Okay, the load here is 15 kilonewton per meter that we have written. The distance of the load is 3 meter. Load into distance is over into distance by 2. So the total distance is 3 meter. So half of 3 meter is 1.5. So this is the point where you will be having centroid. Okay, from the centroid to the point A will be 3 divided by 2 is 1.5. So the centroid will be acting 1.5 meter distance from the starting of UDL, and the remaining distance is 1 meter. 4 minus 3 will be 1 meter here. So you have to add 1 plus 3 by 2. So at this point you will be getting the centroid. For that you will be using this formula. Okay, now if you want RB, what you have to do is this equation will be equal to 0, and if you need RB you have to take this outside. If I am taking this outside, I will be getting 15 into 3 into 2.5, and after taking this outside and dividing this by 10, I will be getting RB as 11.25 kilonewton. Okay, that is what I have written here. After finding 11.52 kilonewton, if you need RA, you can find. So the RA will be RA plus RB equal to 15 into 3. So this is the total downward load which is acting. 15 into 3 is 45. And total upward forces, you know RB is 11.25. 45 minus 11.25 will be RA. Now we don't require RA. Why? Because if you need shear force at section X, if I am looking into right hand side, I need only RB in order to know the maximum negative shear force. So I will be taking shear force here. So let us take shear force at section X. If I am looking into right hand side, I only have this reaction. So this reaction is 11.25. Okay, this is right hand side and this is acting at upward. So you have sign conventions for shear force here, and if you want to use this sign convention, it is very easy to memorize. Write it down as left up, left down, and right up, right down. This is the series of conditions, and you have to write plus, minus, minus, plus. Okay, right now we are having RB at right hand side and upward. So right up. Okay, right up is negative. That is why I have written negative here, and you have 11.25. Write it as 11.25 here. So the maximum negative shear force is minus 11.25 at the section X. So this is the way to find maximum negative shear force at a particular point. Okay, next let us find the maximum positive shear force. To find positive shear force at a point, you have to place the load at right hand side. Now I have placed the load at right hand side. Then I want to find shear force at the section X. Now what happens? You cannot take the same reaction where you found in the maximum negative shear force. Why? Because if the load changes, the reaction also changes. So let us check and see. To find that reaction, we can use sum of V equal to 0, that is RA plus RB equal to 0. And what are the reactions are there? Upward reaction is RA and RB. RA, RB is written here, and downward reaction is 15 into 3, that is 15 into 3. Okay, now this will be sum of vertical force. If you need to find the RA and RB value, take moment at A. RB into distance will be 10. RB into 10 is written here. This is anti-clockwise, hence it is minus. And load into distance by 2. Load is 15 here and the distance is 3 here, and you have to find distance from point A. So this distance will be 4 meter, which I have written 4 here, and the centroid will be acting at 3 by 2, hence 3 by 2 plus 4. So this will be the distance of the load. Okay. If you want RB, you can take this outside and multiply this and simplify, divided by 10. And now I will be getting RB as 24.75 kilonewton. Note that here you got RB as 11.25. Why? Because this is towards A, and if it crosses towards the B point, the reaction B will increase. So now we got reaction B is 24.75, and if you know RB, you can find RA. How? You have to substitute this RB in this equation, and you will be getting RA by taking this outside. I have taken this outside and substituted here. I got RA is 20.25. Now to find the maximum shear force. The two reactions are written here. If I want shear force at this point, either I can look into right hand side or I can look into left hand side. Okay. Now let me see in right hand side. Okay, right hand side upward, the reaction B is upward. So right up is negative of 24.75. So minus 24.75. Now right side downward, this UDL is acting downward. Okay, which is having an intensity of 45. 15 into 3 is 45. That is right down will be positive. I have written positive of 45. If I add this, I will be getting plus 20.25. So that is the maximum positive shear force. Your value you have got. After several practice, you will be understanding that where to take the shear force easily. If you look into the left hand side, you can see only one reaction is here, that is left up. So left up is positive. You can write directly plus 20.25 here. In either way you can look it and you can write. So don't confuse that. If you are practicing at the first time, always look at the right hand side when practicing. When you become expert, then you can look into either left or right hand side. Okay. Now let us find the bending moment, that is maximum bending moment. Now our point of interest is X. X is 4 meter from A. I need to find at this point. Now for that, what you have to do is you have to place the load in a ratio. This ratio should be equal to the span. The load has a span of 3 meter and your girder has a span of 10 meter. Your point of interest is 4 meter. So you have a ratio between 10 by 4 here, and the same ratio should be there in between the 3 meter and the place of position of the load. So to find the maximum bending moment at a section will occur when the position of the load in such that the section X divides the load in the same ratio. So whatever the ratio here, if you have the span ratio is 4 by 10, what will be the ratio? 4 by 10 will be 0.4. So the same 0.4 should be the ratio of the load. If you substitute 3 into 0.4, you will be getting 1.2. So that is the ratio which is written here, that is CXD. So these are the points. AB is the reaction point. Okay. So CX divided by CD. CX divided by CD. So this is the load ratio, and X divided by span length. This is another ratio. If you are using this ratios, you will be getting CX is 1.2 meter. Between C and X is 1.2 meter, and the remaining distance will be 3 minus 1.2, that is 1.8. So this is the position where you will be getting maximum bending moment. This is not absolute bending moment. What do you mean by absolute is when a load crosses whatever portion in this span, this girder will be taking the ultimate bending moment. So the ultimate, which is termed as absolute. So the load, when it crosses a certain portion, you will get the maximum bending moment at any point. So that we will look into the next problem. Now we are only interested in taking the maximum bending moment at point 4 meter from the A. Okay. So now we have located the UDL here exactly. And after location, what you have to do is you have to find bending moment at the point X. To find bending moment, you need to find reaction, that is RA and RB. How to find reactions? You have to use the static equilibrium equation, and if you are using that equation, let us use sum of V equal to 0. If I am using sum of V equal to 0, the same equation will be there, that is RA plus RB equal to 15 into 3, and summation of MA equal to 0. I will be taking moment at A, RB into distance is 10. So RB into distance is 10, which will be anti-clockwise, hence it is minus, and this will be clockwise and plus. So plus load into distance, that is load is 15 kilonewton per meter and distance is 3. 15 into 3. Now this distance is the distance from the centroid to the point A. From X you will be having 1.2 meter. So after subtracting this 4 minus 1.2, you will be getting 2.8 as remaining distance. Okay. Now you want to find the centroid of this UDL. So 3 by 2 will be the place of centroid, that is 1.5 plus the 2.8 meter. So 3 by 2 plus 2.8. Now taking RB outside, you can find the value of RB here, that is 19.35 kilonewton, which is RB, and RA will be substituting in this equation 1, you will be getting RA. So RA is 25.65. Now you know the reaction. Okay. Now we can find the maximum bending moment at X. You can see either at right hand side or at left hand side. I will be considering at point left hand side. RA into distance is 4. RA is 25.65 kilonewton and 25.65 into 4. And you will be having a UDL here, which is having a distance of 1.2. Now load is 15 into distance is 1.2 here. Load into distance is 1.2 into 1.2 by 2. That is, hence you will be taking all the loads here for finding the moment. If I substitute and I simplify, I will be getting 91.8 kilonewton meter. So now we got all the values, that is positive shear, negative shear and maximum bending moment. Let us take another example to find absolute maximum bending moment. Now we know what is maximum bending moment at a point. Now whatever might be the point in your span, say for example this problem has a 16 meter span, whatever might be your location, you should tell the ultimate bending moment, that is absolute bending moment. At which position, if you locate, see here you are having 2 point loads, the 60 kilonewton and 40 kilonewton. Okay, when this two load is traveling from one point to the other point, at which location if it is placed, you will be getting the ultimate bending moment. So that we will find here. A case is given here, a 2 point load, that is 40 kilonewton and 60 kilonewton, spaced 6 meter apart. So first they have given as 40 and second they have given as 60. Why 60 can't be first and 40 can't be second is, here they have given 2 point load, 40 is first. So 40 crosses the girder first and 60 crosses the girder second. So the distance between these two loads is 6 meter, and they have given here, and a girder of 16-meter span. This girder has a 16-meter span with 40 kilonewton load leading from the left to right. So this is the 40 kilonewton. He is leading from left to right. So this moving load crosses from this point. In practical cases, loads might be coming from B to A or from A to B. For understanding, we will start from the cases. Construct the maximum shear force and bending moment. Diagram the absolute maximum values. See, the shear force and bending moment should be absolute maximum values. Here they have not given 4 meter from A or 6 meter from A. They have said that whatever might be the point, I need the absolute maximum values. This is known as critical value. This absolute maximum bending moment is the critical value to go for design. Okay. In order to find that, first we will find the maximum positive shear force moment. What you have to do is you have to place the two loads at the point A. One load should be at point A and the remaining load should be at the span. It can be two or more loads. This last load should be located at point A. Okay. So this is the place you will be getting maximum positive shear force. Okay, let us find that. After placing this load exactly, what we can do here is we have to find the reaction RA and RB, and you have to take the shear force. So let us do this. Sum of V equal to 0, that is RA plus RB equal to 100 here. Now 60 plus 40 is total load is 100. Okay. And if I want to take moment at point A, RB into distance is 16, RB into 16 will be negative, and 40 into 6. 40 into 6 I have written here, which is clockwise. I have not taken 60 here. Why? Because 60 is acting at the joint A. This will be the total load, and if you want to find RB, take it outside, and after simplifying this, I will be getting RB equal to 15 kilonewton. And if I substitute RB here, I will be getting RA. So I will be taking RB outside, and 100 minus 15, RA will be 85. So RB is 15, RA is 85. Now we have found out the reaction. Next thing, we have to take shear force. So let us take shear force at point A here. When considering the shear force, you will be taking a point just left to point C. Say for example, if you consider point B, you will be taking right side B right and B left. For each and every portion, you will be taking shear force at both right and left hand side. So when considering the shear force, you have to split this. That is, you have to consider the load 60 kilonewton is acting at right hand side of point A, and RA is acting at left hand side of this point. So there is a slight variation. So that doesn't have any distance. This has to be understood. Okay, let us take the shear force here. Either I can look right hand side or left hand side. So I will be looking at right hand side. So that is why I have placed slightly A towards the right hand side. This doesn't have any distance. Okay. These are the sign conventions. Right side upward of 15. Right side upward is minus and minus 15. And if I am looking into right hand side, I have 40 kilonewton, which is right side downward. That is minus 40. Okay, right side downward will be plus. So plus 40, and you have right side downward of 60. That is plus 60. So plus 40 and plus 60 here. If I add that, I will be getting 85 kilonewton. So this is the maximum positive shear force is 85. This is absolute maximum positive shear force. Okay. Now let us find absolute maximum negative shear force. So if I want to find that, I have to take this load and place at point B. Where to place at point B? So point B, if you are locating this as a single point, consider the point B which is acting left hand side and reaction is acting at right hand side. There will be slight variation. Okay, so this load crosses to this point and this distance is 6 meter. Now let us find the reaction RA and RB to find the shear force. Okay, RA plus RB equal to 0 and we will be using this equation, and total load you will be having 100 and take moment at point A. If I am taking moment here, RB into distance is 16, it will be anti-clockwise and it is written here, and 60 into distance. So this distance is 6 and the remaining will be 10 meter. So 60 into 10. 60 into 10 is written here, which is clockwise, and 40 into distance is 16 meter. 40 into distance is 16 meter equal to 0. Now find RB by taking it outside, and simplification I will be getting RB 77.5 kilonewton. Now I know RB is 77.5 kilonewton, and if I subtract with total load, that is 100 minus 77.5, I will be getting 22.5 kilonewton. Okay, this is my reaction. Now let us find the maximum negative shear force. Okay, to find that I will be taking shear force at point B. I have to look into left hand side, left up. You are having 22.5. Left up is positive, that is plus 22.5 is written here. Again, left side you are having 60 kilonewton, which is downward. So left down is negative, so negative 60. Negative 60 is written here, and this will be placed at left hand side of point B. So minus 40. Minus 40 is written here. If you add this, you will be getting minus 77.5 kilonewton. So this will be the maximum negative shear force, and this will be the absolute maximum negative shear force, which will be 77.5 kilonewton. Let us find absolute maximum bending moment. Okay, you want to locate the load at certain point where you have the absolute maximum bending moment. Okay, how to provide this? We know that if you have a simply supported beam here, the maximum load will be while load is acting at the midpoint. So I have written the midpoint as M. This will be 8 meter from point A. This is the midpoint. For a moving load, you have to take the resultant load first, and you have to locate the moving load at a particular ratio that the load will be transferred absolutely to the midpoint. Okay, so first you have to find the reaction, that is resultant force for this 2-point load. Okay, so the distance between the 2 points is 6 meter. Resultant here, so the resultant is, see, if you have 60 kilonewton and 40 kilonewton, I want to make the two load into a single load, so that is known as resultant load. If I want to make that, I know that 60 plus 40 is 100 kilonewton, and I want to locate from the, say for example, the 60 kilonewton as the point C and 40 kilonewton as point D. I want to locate from a certain distance so that the resultant will be the same moment will be caused by the two loads. Okay. If I want to find the distance, this is an imaginary force, so the resultant is not a real force. In order to find absolute maximum bending moment, you have to find the resultant first. This is imaginary. Okay. Now, what is the distance of the resultant from point C? For finding that, you have to take moment at point C. If I am taking moment 40 into, so forget this girder first. So let us take the load only. 40 into distance is 6 meter. So 40 into 6 written here, this is clockwise, and R into distance. So this distance we don't know, we can take it as X, and R into X I have written here. Now the resultant is 100. We know that if I substitute 100 here, I can take this outside and I can find the X. Unknown is X, so 40 into 6 will be 240 divided by X. So the X will be found out. You know R is 100 here. So 240 divided by 100 will be 2.4. So the resultant is acting 2.4 meter from the point C. Yes, we have found out that. So this is 2.4 meter and the remaining distance will be 3.6. So if you subtract 6 minus 2.4, you will be getting 3.6. Okay. Now this imaginary resultant load is found out. You have to place the load in the girder. How to place this? Let us see. In order to find absolute maximum bending moment, the load, the maximum load out from the 40 and 60, the 60 kilonewton load is the maximum load. So from the maximum load to the resultant load, you have 2.4 meter distance. You have to split it into equal distance. So if I split this into equal distance, I will be having 2.4 by 2 is 1.2. So this distance will be 1.2 and other distance will be 1.2. So you have to locate the load perpendicular to the midpoint. So the load is placed to find the absolute maximum bending moment. I once again repeat, the 60 kilonewton load and resultant of 100 kilonewton load has to be taken and you have to find the distance. So the distance between these two is 2.4. You have to divide this by 2, that is 1.2. This point should match the midpoint. So this is the place where you will be getting the absolute maximum bending. Okay. Now after placing this, what will be the remaining distance? This will be 6.8. How? See, we know the midpoint will be at 8 meter. Okay. And these 8 meter and the load should be placed at 1.2 meter distance from, so from point C, the M will be 1.2 meter. If I substitute 8 minus 1.2, you will be getting 6.8 meter from point A. So all the things we have identified. Now we can go to find the absolute maximum bending moment. So in order to find bending moment, you have to find the components and then to get the bending moment. So if I want to find sum of moment at A equal to 0, I will be taking RB into distance, that is RB into 16, which will be anti-clockwise, and 40 into the distance. How to find this distance is, now we know that we have placed the point M and the position of load as the above. See, from the 60 kilonewton load and the resultant, the load should be located exactly at 1.2 meter and 1.2 meter distance, exactly at equal distance. So this will be 1.2 and this will be 1.2. So after this midpoint to 40 kilonewton load, you will be having, this is 3.6 meter and the remaining distance will be 1.2. So this is 3.6 and 1.2 is 4.8. So from the midpoint, the 40 kilonewton load is at 3.6 meter from the midpoint. So this is 1.2 meter and this is 3.6 meter. If I add these two things, I will be getting 4.8. So this is 4.8 meter, and the midpoint is exactly at 8 meter. So 8 plus 4.8 is 12.8 meter. So 40 into 12.8 meter. Okay. How to find 60 into this distance? So the midpoint is exactly at 8 meter. If I subtract 1.2 meter, 8 minus 1.2 will be 6.8. So 60 into 6.8. 60 into 6.8 is written here. And if I need RB, I can take this outside, and RB will be 57.5 kilonewton. So if RB is 57.5 kilonewton, RA will be, I am substituting here, and I will get RA as 42.5 kilonewton. Now I got RA and RB. Now if I need absolute maximum bending moment, I have to take the moment at the largest force. So between these two point load, the largest force is 60 kilonewton. I have to take bending moment at the point C. If I take bending moment at point C, RB into distance. So you know up to midpoint is 8 meter, and this is 1.2, that is 9.2. So total distance is 9.2 meter, and RB is 57.5 into 9.2. This will be anti-clockwise. And also 40 into 6 meter distance. 40 into 6, which will be clockwise. Note that here resultant is an imaginary. Why we are finding resultant is to locate the load at a particular point in a girder. So after locating, the resultant is not required, and it is not a real load also. Hence, there will be only two components, that is RB and 40. After simplifying this, I will be getting 289 kilonewton meter. This absolute maximum bending moment is at point C. Okay, so this is the way to find these parameters. When the load is moving towards this girder, this is the exact location. After it crosses 6.8 meter, the girder has maximum absolute bending moment. If it crosses 0.1 meter or 0.2 meter from this, the bending moment gets reduced. So throughout this distance, if the moving load is located at this particular distance, then you will be having the absolute bending moment. So you can try by yourself of locating the load at different points in this girder. You will not get more than 289. So that is why it is called absolute maximum bending moment. So you can try and check if it is placed at the portion B. Two loads can be placed at the point A. Wherever might be, you can try and locate and to find the absolute maximum bending moment. You will find lesser value than this. So by taking this, you can design your bridge, and you can design your bridge girder, and the loads will not go beyond this value. And this is the way to find absolute maximum bending moment. And note that the maximum bending moment is found only for a particular point, and absolute maximum bending moment is for any point in a girder. Okay, so by this I hope that you got some knowledge about the moving load in practical cases. So what happens while a moving load is crossing a girder, and what are the key points, key analytical parameters are to start design. So by this parameter you can take and start designing your girders, and let us see in further classes to understand this concept better. Happy learning. See you again. Thank you.